Is love in the room? Well, if it in our loving tongue, baby, is love in the room? Don't whine on me here, lady. Is love in the room? If he wanna fight and stray, is love in the room? We playing with house Monday in the ladies' room. Don't worry, us. She said, you're giving topic to Aruna. Study your place. Your woman outside with cousin whole day. You can't see face. The story end up on ladies' room. You disappear without trace. Voila. If all she know is papi show and stress outside, is love in the room. If you wanna have to girl, take care, they bust the files. Well, if it's in her loving tongue, baby, is love in the room? Don't whine on me here, lady. Is love in the room? If he wanna fight and stray, is love in the room? We playing with house Monday in the ladies' room. Oh, na na na. It's only love in the ladies' room. Is love in the room? Is love in the room? Well, if it's in her loving tongue, baby, is love in the room? Don't whine on me here, lady. Is love in the room? If he wanna fight and stray, is love in the room? We playing with house Monday in the ladies' room. Don't worry, us. She said, you're giving topic to Aruna. Study your place. Your woman outside with cousin whole day. You can't see face. The story end up on ladies' room. You disappear without trace. Voila.
Good morning again, everybody. Welcome back to the room. Hope everyone is doing well. Yeah, we're up and running. It is Monday, April 28th. Where's this sticking out? And of course, that means it's the final Monday in the month of April. 30 days of September, April, June, November. All right, so 30 days in April. 2 more days to go. And it's a wrap. Whew. Boy, do we have a lot to talk about this morning. So we're going to jump right on into it. But first, good morning to our friends at Nirvana Spa and Detox, Beacon Insurance, Harry Edwards Jewelers, and of course, Western Union. So Nirvana, Beacon, Western Union, Harry Edwards, thank you so much for powering up our show for yet another day. Good morning to our listeners on radio, 95.1, 95.3. Good morning to our viewers on YouTube and Facebook. Top of the morning, afternoon, evening, night to you, wherever you are. Hope all is well. You're in the best of health, and you're ready to embrace another working week wherever you are. Come on in, guys. Oh, Shanti, what you talking about? You're in Guyana, Indy. What you doing? Why is it saying I was live? Hold on, let me see what's going on this on this where is it? Okay, there we go. All right, y'all hear me clear? No echo, no nothing. Uh, everybody, are you guys hearing me good on the live? So let's do the do. Morning, Shante. Good morning, Don. Marianne. Good morning. Hey, Lisa. Hope you're doing well. Morning, 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 Anasha. And of course, congratulations to your daughter. Good morning, Valerie. Jackie Douglas Adams. Jacqueline, where are you? Anyways, good morning, Mel. Yeah, I see my sis back in the class. So hopefully she stays for a longer time. Hey, Michelle. Good morning, Clarina. Good morning, Michelle Douglas. Good morning, everybody. Terrence Wells, up and thankful as always. Amanda, good morning. Naya, good morning. Naya is a real no boy. Morning, Nasha. Morning, Jackie. Maria. With your breadfruit. So go for your breadfruit, miss. We were without you for how many days and we didn't die. We survived. So go fry your breadfruit. Nobody holding you here. Morning, Trisha. Roderick. Good morning, Queen Bee. Terry is here. Nakisha is here. Theresa. Donna. Ryan the Riggs. Pick up yourself, Riggy. I see you out the gate from early with the soca music. Loving it, loving it, loving it. Um, Morning, Mr. Ray. Another one that always comes here and wants to tell us what to do. And he's not a regular anymore since he get whatever he get over there. So, anywho's. Morning, Fatima. Luke, good morning. He says Grand Rising from a sunny UK. Sunny, that's a first. And everybody else. Ingrid, Nissy, Marvlin, Junice, good morning, Kareem, Christelle. Um, Thank you for setting the stage right for you all down. Of course, of course. Hey, people keep messaging me and see me saying they seen me starring over the internet with this all down confusion. Che, good morning. Hope you're good. Morning, Gabby. Oh, wide voice. Hi, guys. Stupid. Hi, guys. Morning, Sharon. Duvisat, morning. Sonia Patrice, good morning. Denot says Montreal in the house. Good morning. Olio, I know where to start. There's just so much going on. It's like the internet have us in a chokehold and it's not giving us time to breathe. Before we try to work our way around something, it's another and another. We're barely trying to come to terms with what's happening in Guyana with this child. And there are so many theories and so many things happening surrounding her death. And yesterday, as a matter of fact, I was looking at some videos and some lives, and it's something that I always say I don't believe in. I'm not the superstitious kind. I don't believe in people pulling the devil tail, but I ain't lying, boy. After some videos I looked at yesterday, it kind of had me like, okay. The lengths people will go to for riches and success, I never really like put much thought into it. They say people do, but I'm listening some of these things and people are putting two, and everybody's a detective putting two and two together and leading us down, the rabbit hole, and so many different takes on this situation. Plus, the folks, taking action and setting fire allegedly to this hotel, and policeman implicated. And oh my gosh, it's a lot. Let me start home first and then we'll work our way up the road. But have you on your toes? Yeah. Irvin Louison, good morning, sister. Do you guys have a moment to talk about Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior? After you come out and drink a whole set of rum on the weekend, you want to come Monday morning and ask for a moment to talk about Jesus Christ, our Lord. Are you good? Yes? Anyways, as you were saying, so let me start home. And let me start with this release put out by the RGPF. I'm sure we're all now au fait with what's happening, what's making the rounds. Again, yesterday social media was busy. What's the young man's name who, hold on, let me check. What's the young man's name who went live? What's his name? I saved it. Where did it go? Somebody help me. What's the young man's name? Tyrick? What's his name? I can't remember. But anyways, someone sent me a live link, and they were like, you need to look at this. Like the place hot in Victoria right now. And I'm like, okay, because I already went out Saturday night, and old age is definitely stepping in. Whenever I go out and I return home anytime after 3-4 in the morning, I need at least 24 hours to fully charge up again. It's like my batteries go all the way down, and I need to. So I was like in between sleep. I drank. I was under the influence of something, because the way I was going in and out of sleep, I was like passing out in sleep. But my phone kept going off, and I'm like, oh gosh, who's this? Like on Sundays, people by now should know I don't do phones. Leave me alone. But I keep getting in my inbox. I keep seeing the same thing over and over in my inbox. And I'm like, what is this? Let me just check. And I checked, and I saw some young man by the name of Tyreek Paul, I think, went live. And I'm seeing a whole set of commotion, people swearing, cussing, running up and down. I'm like, okay, that definitely jolted me out of my sleep. So I'm like, okay, let me see what's going on here. So I did not see the first one. I caught up on the second one, where they were in front of the police station and having conversations with the police and what have you. And later on in the evening, I'm seeing a whole set of RIPs. And I just spoke to someone a minute ago who says that the gentleman is still here with us. I won't go into details the rest that was said, but all I'm going to say is he's still here with us. And while in conversation, a press release came from the police, which says the police are investigating shooting incident at Victoria St. Mark. So based on what I gathered from the person I spoke to, who was actually there and on the ground with the gentleman, so he gave me like first-hand information. He was there. And from what I was told is that the young man was not involved in any altercation with the police, neither anybody else. As a matter of fact, he was trying to defuse a situation that involved someone else, and sort of got caught up in the in the confusion. But he did not, or was not part of any fights, did not start any fights, but was trying to defuse a situation. Right? And apparently the police came on the scene and tried to do the same, defuse the situation. Allegedly, shots were fired and 4 people sustained injuries. So based on all that was said, and it involving the police, a press release this morning says that the Royal Grenada Police Force is actively investigating a shooting incident which occurred on Sunday, 27th April at Victoria St. Mark, resulting in 4 men sustaining injuries. The victims were taken to the general hospital for medical attention, where they were admitted as patients. The commissioner and members, now listen to this part carefully. The commissioner and members of the RGPF extend their best wishes for full and speedy recovery to those affected. We also express sympathy to the families of those affected. The RGPF assures the public of a thorough investigation into the matter and urges members of the public to cooperate fully with law enforcement during this process. Anyone with information that may assist in this investigation is urged to contact the Criminal Investigations Department on 440-3921. 440-3921. That's the number to call if you have information. Now, while listening to live, and the young man was speaking to the police officers. I'm saying young because I don't know his age, but I'm just gonna. One of the officers said something that really raised my eyebrow, and I'm like, wow. Sometimes it's better to not say anything, and even though especially in the heat of the moment, you have to understand people's anger. You have to understand people's frustration. You have to understand that, hey, emotions are raw right now. It's real right now. One of the officers said something to the effect about you can't beat the system. And I'm like, oh, wow. That's where we are now. Like, last I checked, we live in a democratic state. And law and order is supposed to be what we abide by. And I didn't realize there was a system that we were fighting against or up against, or it's we versus the system. I thought we worked hand in hand and whatever takes its course, takes its course. And bearing in mind that with so many eyewitnesses around, and they were all there screaming that a police officer who did the shooting, whether in the air, whether because people are still trying to come to terms with it. Some are saying the shots were fired in the air, but here we have 4 people hospitalized as a result of whatever. So I was kind of shocked when he made that statement. And I'm like, sometimes it's like, we always have this issue. At the end of the day, we're humans first, but when we're in certain professions, we have to let our emotions, we have to put a lid on our emotions. And it's something that we need to work on a lot. And that is our emotional intelligence. It's like we let our emotions get the best of us at all times. And then we chalk it up to, okay, I was a mistake after. But we have to, at some point, gain some sort of control over emotions. Because if we don't, it will either lead us to do things or to say things that we can't undo and we can't take back. Emotional intelligence is something that is lacking amongst us. And that takes me to the next part. And I had to tell someone this yesterday when they sent me the graphic video of the man on the ground and I'm like, do me a favor next time, please. I beg. I appreciate you reaching out and giving me the information, but please next time, let me know in advance. Hey, I'm about to show you something graphic. Do you want to see it? And that is something I do myself, because not everybody's like. That is something I do if it's to do with anything graphic. I will tell the person if I'm sharing it, hey, I'm about to send something to what so and so is the case there, so let me know if not to. But to just open something and just see this, I'm like, Jesus, you couldn't have told me this is a situation. And then I went on to social media and y'all just have this plastered all over. Social media have a lot of you by the testicles. And it's like squeezing y'all. And you can't say, okay, release me now. I know what I have to do. Social media will be the death of some of you in your thirst for relevance, the new one now, not cloud, for cloud and fame. Y'all just put everything out there without thinking, okay, how does this affect the family? How will this be received by the close friends or what have you? As soon as y'all get something, it's on it's on social media with no warning, graphic content, no warning, no shield, because Facebook have these things in place where if you're going to show something that is graphic, you can put a cover over it and then you can choose to uncover it to see for yourself. But everybody is just in their thirst for, I don't know if there's a first prize, second prize, third prize for posting first, or I'm sure, because for the most part, the most of you who post, your pages aren't even monetized. So what you probably get maybe some shares, some likes, and a few comments. So y'all just post every and anything without thinking, okay, this person have family. Sometimes the family is not even aware, and they have to go on social media and see this bam in their faces. So we really have to work on our emotional intelligence and understand that, hey, not everything is for public consumption. Not everything is for social media. The way you get it, you don't necessarily have to put it out there. Even if you write a status, that's okay. But it's something you see time and time again. Something happens and immediately we just put it there. Now, this is like a double-edged sword, because in one hand, it has its advantages, but it has its disadvantages, because it lets people know what's going on. You have it on your phone as evidence, what happened, what transpired. But I'm speaking about the graphic part of it. I have no issues with the videoing of, what's going on, the situation. The only issue I have is of the young man, all the blood streaming down his face, laying on the ground, all over social media. That is the only issue I have with it. And I saw a post that kind of reference it as well. The video shared no warning, no sensitivity, just passed along like any other piece of content. And this person says, and something about it struck me deeply, not just sadness, but a deep sense that something is wrong with how we move as a society today. We seem to have forgotten in all the rush to capture and share that these are not just images. That is someone's son, someone's brother, someone's husband, someone's friend, a living soul reduced to a viral moment. And I understand it's difficult to regulate what people share. Technology moves faster than any rule book we could hope to write. But even so, there must be a higher law, a social etiquette rooted in shared humanity. Before we hit send, we should ask, is this respectful to the person involved? Am I helping or am I harming? Would I want this shared if it were me or someone I loved? And he also wanted to say there's also something even deeper at stake in situations of distress. Far too often, people now rush to record before they rush to help. Phones are drawn faster than hands of compassion. It's a sad state of affairs when our first instinct is to film pain instead of easing it. Of course, not everyone is a medical professional. Not everyone knows exactly what to do. But humanity doesn't always require expertise. Sometimes it simply asks us to act with care, to comfort, to call for help, to protect dignity. We must remember the priority should never be capturing the moment. The priority should always be serving the moment. I don't have all the answers, but I know the world moves quickly and messily. But I do know this: sharing graphic videos of human suffering without thought, without respect, is not the kind of society we should be building. We need more humanity. We need more compassion. We need more courage to help rather than to broadcast. And that starts with each of us, with the small everyday choices we make, but what we choose to amplify and what we choose to protect. And let's remember, dignity is not something we should casually put on display. It is something we are called to defend. A lovely piece indeed from Kitaka. Thanks so much for that. So I just wanted to touch on that part. But getting back to the situation, that is one of the reasons I kind of avoid those sort of events anymore. I used to do St. Mark's Festival weekend religiously. Well, apart from the one time when we did the reservoir jam and they say we're going up the mountain, and every time I ask, well, how much further? We keep going, and we can't reach. And then I realize after hours, nah, I'm not doing this anymore. When Spectrum was a thing, Spectrum, Wet Fete, in the streets of St. Mark's having a good time. Everybody ate, danced, merry, went their way. Now it seems as though every time we have an event, people don't know how to act. And they see it as an opportunity to start fights, pelt bottles, draw weapons, and all sorts of crazy stuff. And I always ask myself, if you're going to leave your house and you know, listen, I'm easily angered, I'm easily agitated, any little thing, somebody step on my toe, somebody, I see a man watch me too hard, I'm going to get into a fight. What are you going out for? It's like, our young men these days, it's like, y'all just keep glorifying violence and thinking, okay, for me to look like this cool guy or this bad guy, I have to involve myself in something that can either land me in the hospital, land me in the cemetery, or land me behind bars. Because how are you leaving your home to go have a good time and you're out here picking fights or teaming up with fights? And you know what I don't understand? I could get if one person have something with, but what I don't ever get is seeing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 men jump in one man, and not one out of the 6 would be telling the other, bro, nah, let me not do this. So you trying to tell me 6 of all you stupid? Out of the 6, not one can say, bro, that ain't making sense, you know. Out of the 5, 3 can try to pull off the other one and say, all your, that ain't making sense. All of it. So everybody stupid liming. Don't, how a bunch of stupid people could be liming together? How that making sense? You trying to tell me nobody don't liming with one another that have sense? So 5 dotish people liming together. What you getting out of that? Where not one out of the bunch could say, let's not do this. So here we are today, 4 in hospital. And yes, we haven't reached the police side yet, and the responsibility they have and the blame that they have to take. We await this investigation and what have you. And as of course it involves a police officer, so we're expecting fairness in the investigation and let the chips fall where they may. If protocol was not followed, if the officer didn't do what he was supposed to do and get excited, because just looking at the stream and I'm watching the energy and the demeanor, it's either we need to seriously have a lot of refresher courses for professionalism and emotional intelligence to be checked. Because I was just listening to the interaction between some of the officers. And listen, it doesn't take much because I heard certain references being made to what's going on in Guyana when civilians are taking the law in their hands. And I heard references being made to it in the video. We still have to give thanks that we are on the cool side where those things are concerned. Because if you have been paying attention for the past couple of days, you would see that the folks in Guyana did not take too kindly what happened to the little girl. Hotel burnt, homes burnt, and literally, hold on, let me just pull this up. Yeah, and literally taking the law in their own hands. That is a different conversation by itself. But I'm just saying, because you have a gun in your possession or on your side, you should not make that feel like, hey, okay, I'm the bad boy here now. Because at the end of the day, We come from communities. We are part of society. We're not armed with a gun every day. You're not in a uniform every day. You are not in your uniforms every day. And that is why I keep stressing on the emotional intelligence aspect of it. Because if you see a crowd before you, understanding the reason they're angry because one of your colleagues allegedly fired shots and 4 people were hit, you have to understand that, hey, there's some sort of, okay, now let's see how we can quell the situation. Let's see how we can diffuse it. Let's not add fire to it. Let's change our demeanor and be a bit more understanding of, okay, this is a situation, blood hot right now. Men are upset, they want somebody head to roll. Let me see how we can remain calm and try to diffuse it. Instead of making comments or statements that added more fuel to the fire. You want to dissent to be seen as a hater or become an enemy, then stand alone. Monty says birds of a feather flock together. Well, they say show me your friend, I'll tell you who you are. But all of us can be drinking the same dotage juice. That is why my friend hang on with me, because they know, hey, we might take a 2 drink and we know you don't drink. So we're going to hang with you because you're going to be the driver. And I'm okay with that. But all of us can be drinking. You can't be hanging out with people, everybody drinking, everybody drunk. One have to maintain a cool head. One have to be able to say, hey, okay, I got this. Even if when I'm driving, all of them sleeping, but I know I'm good. If I feel a need that I can't, pack up, take a 5, and we move again. But we don't really go that places where it requires that. But all I'm saying is you can't be associating yourself with people where everybody is a hothead. You should have a peacemaker in the midst. You can't be liming with people where everybody drinking. We have to practice some sort of discernment and make better choices as we move along in life. We can't be doing the same thing and expecting different results. Change your company. If you know all where you go, them always like to fight. Nah, boy, we can't hang again, or I ain't going. But that's the word. We need to learn to be more logical instead of emotional. We are more reactive than proactive. And some of your brothers, your uncles, your boyfriend, your whatever, some of y'all just not. It's like, what is your purpose? You know you can't drink, then don't drink. You know when you drink, it gives you liquid courage and you want to fight with the world. Somebody touch you, you want to fight. You know that you're easily angered. Then stay away from things that angers or triggers you. Simple. So we just can't look at the problem. We have to look at where it stems from. We can't just lay blame alone on the police. They have their share of blame to get whatever the case might be. But from all indications, what's his name? Wello? And I was saying this to the person. When I see this guy, he's always smiling, he's always so calm, his demeanor is. So when I first heard it, I thought it was like, when I heard about fights, I'm like, he fight? Every time I see him be like nice ass and smile and go his way rejoicing. Never disrespect, never nice ass, and he go about the business. So when I heard it, I was like, kind of okay. But then when I heard the story further now, it was, no, he was not the one involved. He was trying to diffuse a situation with somebody else. And just like that, your life is in balance. Your life is you're hanging on for dear life. Because of something you had absolutely nothing to do with. You didn't start it. You didn't go fighting with somebody. So it's like that's why they say all good things must come to an end. And then y'all complain, oh, the police ain't giving us permission to do this. Oh, but certain places, it's like you can't have certain things because y'all don't know how to behave. Y'all don't know how to behave. So when they start giving permission and everything stop, okay, next year, if you were to hear, well, no more St. Mark's Festival. Oh, they're trying to hold long, small man. They're trying to keep down, but nobody's taking accountability for their actions. Nobody's taking accountability for their actions. And I'm dying to know who it is, because as far as I'm concerned, I ain't talking about some young or rookie. No young rookie I know ever supposed to have no gun in their possession, because this trigger happiness is not going to cut it. You have to be experienced in the use of firearm and knowing when to use it and how to use it. Me, I see fighters start and people running in their phone towards fight. Me, if the fight is at the left, I head in right. I don't want to see, I don't want nothing to, because like I said, sometimes there's innocent ones who have nothing to do with it that gets the brunt of it. You see people start to fight and somebody trying to pat a fight, and then the two on the other hand raining blows on you. Sometimes they have weapon and they're trying to get to the other one. So they don't care if they have to get through to you to get to the person that you pulling them apart from. But you're seeing things happening and people running towards it with phone in their hand, everybody pushing with phone over. Like the gentleman on the ground yesterday, everybody standing up with phone over it, trying to get. I'm like, at the end of the day, we all can only be responsible for our actions, right? We all can only be responsible for our action. And if you know, like I said, you can't control yourself, when you drink, you're out of control, then refrain from drinking. You know it only takes 2 or 3 to get you to that level, then do 1. But this, everywhere some of you go, you have to be involved in some fight. Nice little event, something to bring the community together, to inject a little money into the community, a community event. Because St. Mark's is not a big place. Nothing much really happens on a daily. So something to boost a little economic thing into the communities and marred by violence. But amidst all of this, the RGPF has been trying hard. But y'all need to try harder. Because like I said, the back and forth and some of the comments that was made shows a lack of emotional intelligence on their part. Because if you have people before you angry, a mob before you angry, that someone just got injured from a firearm that was dispersed by one of your colleagues. We have people now still trying to add more fuel to the fire. It is sad on both ends. It is sad on both ends. So we await this investigation and hope that it will be fair and transparent to all involved, all concerned, and it wouldn't be to look good on one part or to make it. No, we're looking for fairness. And again, they're asking for anyone with information who can assist in the investigation to contact the CID on 440-3921. The thing about it is we could do better, you know. It's just that we choose not to. Doing better is a choice. We all could do better. It's just a choice that you have to make. Ronnie, you think they're reading that? Ronnie says behavior rules should be printed on every bay and a rum bottle for the season. They're watching that? On a regular day, they're reading. You think they're going to read anything that's written on bottles? So that's the police rights to protect themselves. I ain't sure what you mean, no, but at the end of the day, like I said what I said. Whether you're in favor of or not, that we need to use discernment and emotional intelligence in everything that we do, especially when you're handed a weapon that can be used to inflict harm on someone. A life can be taken from that said weapon. So it's not something that should be used in the first instant. So that means we're seriously lacking. What happened to like tear gas and all those things for crowds and those? So that means we're really, really lacking. If the first thing a fight breaks out and you're trying to break up a fight and we have to allegedly fire shots in the air wherever it was fired, then we serious. What happened to pepper spray and tear gas and all those things to disperse? I mean, we're really lacking then. So we need to step up in those areas. We need to better equip our police officers when dealing with crowds, and that's why I said a firearm should be the last thing to be used where there are crowds. We need to equip ourselves. We're in the 21st century, for crying out loud, in 2025. So we really need to up our game in that end if we're dealing with crowds and a fight breaks out for whatever reason, whoever it involves. And of course, the police is trying to do their job to dispel it and to get, put things in order, get the crowd in order. A firearm is the last thing. So even rubber bullets, we need body cams on the officers, all of that. So we're hearing so many different things. You're hearing so many different things. So like I said, allegedly it was said, a police officer. They're going to do the investigations. And of course, we await the outcome. Pepper spray, tear gas, rubber bullets, tasers. What else? What else can we use? What else can we use? As with everything else, you're going to hear all different sides of it. But we await the police side when they do the investigation. So whether it's Tom Brown or John Brown, we await to get all the information and details that we need. But in the same breath, we as citizens, civilians, we need to do better. Not everywhere we go, we have to end it in some fight and some confusion and some... It is not necessary. We are too civilized for that. We're in the 21st century, for crying out loud. And we still have to go out and fight every time. We still have to go to an event and be on the ground scrabbling with man, rolling all over man, rubbing up on man. For what? We honestly can do better, and we need to do better. And it's across the board. It's not a police problem. It's not them against us problem. It's not a us or we problem. All of us. Because at the end of the day, police officers are also part of our communities. They come from our communities. We're a small nation. Everybody knows everybody somewhere, somebody associated with somebody somewhere. So we can't get to this them versus us situation, because they need us, we need them. Because in the first instant anything happens, who you call? Who do you call? Something happens, where do they get the information from? So we both need each other. But there are still a lot of things we need to do as civilians and as the police. We can't continue with this every time there's some event that require that crowd, whatever. There's always some fight. Always some fight. Civilians have responsibilities too, and to others. It makes absolutely no sense. We're still trying to like how, and that is a question being asked by how, like how did this happen? So, like I said, I gotta leave now, but I hope that the investigation will provide some clarity into what happened, and it will be done in a speedily manner, and all who needs to get checked will get checked, who needs to be charged will get charged, and it will be fair. So we await. What happened to peaceful? I don't know. Don't say lots of civilians need to take blame for our behavior whenever we go out. It's like we put in extra lawlessness and then blaming it on the rum. That's the point I made earlier. If you know you could only drink two, a third one gets you high, stick to your two. I don't get how adults are so easily influenced and peer pressured. That's what even the children know. When they tell you no is no. If you know you don't drink, every time people come to me, oh, why you don't drink this? Oh, I'm like, nope. You may try as hard as you can. I know I don't drink alcohol. I don't drink alcohol. I don't care what you come with. And it's like when you're around people like Saturday night at the event, Debbie came, bought me a drink in one of our mugs. I didn't even have to ask what was in it. Drank or LLB, because they know I don't drink. Somebody has a know you don't drink, and just that they will put it up with alcohol and give it to you or drink alcohol. No. So you have to know your people. Like I said, 5 dotish people cannot be friends hanging out together because all 5 of you will get involved in dotish things. You need to have at least 2 with sense or 3 with sense, but 5 of you cannot be dotish and lime in. You're going to get in problems. Yeah? Anywho's. I think I said my piece. We didn't get to touch everything, but there's still other days of the week. We'll do that. Thanks so much, everybody, for checking in. Hold on, let me. Why is this sticking today? They get new toys. Well, until tomorrow, everybody. Thank you so much for powering up.